Brought to you by the Southpaw Platform. District 18 needs a new vision, bold ideas for a very different future. And before anyone says, sounds great, but how do we pay for it? Let me make something clear. We already pay for the problems. We just pay in the dumbest, most expensive way possible. We pay after people break. We pay through emergency rooms, jail cells, homelessness churn, hunger-driven disease, lost productivity, and a system that turns human suffering into a bill. Southpaw is not new spending. Southpaw is replacing chaos spending with design spending. Same country. Same money. Different outcome, and this is what makes Southpaw different from every other platform you've heard. We don't just promise services. We build the engine that delivers them. The Department of Careers doesn't sit on the side of the plan. It's the workforce that powers the entire plan. Now I'm going to go through the 5 pillars in order, not to re-explain them, but to show you how each one pays you back. Some of it pays back later. Some of it pays back immediately. And all of it strengthens the economy, because a stable population is an economic advantage, not a burden. First, education. Education is the fastest pillar to launch because we already have the bones of it. We already have public campuses. We already have classrooms. We already have teachers. The real question isn't can we do it, it's why are we choosing a debt gate instead of a knowledge gate? When education becomes accessible, you don't just create graduates. You create higher lifetime earnings, higher tax revenue, and a workforce that can compete globally. Education is the kind of investment that compounds. It pays you back over decades, like a national retirement account made of human potential. Second, housing. Housing is not just compassion. Housing is cost control. Because homelessness is not free. It's the most expensive form of government we have. It's ambulances, emergency rooms, crisis beds, policing, jail, court, shelter cycles, and endless temporary fixes that never fix anything. When housing is guaranteed, spending becomes predictable. And predictable is cheaper than chaos. Stable housing increases employment retention, reduces crime pressure, reduces emergency medical use, and stabilizes families so kids can succeed and adults can work. That isn't just a moral argument. It's a budget argument. Third, jobs. This is the pillar that makes Southpaw stand apart, because our job guarantee isn't just help people work. It is the national production engine for everything else we're building. It's how we staff the housing build out. It's how we staff the food logistics. It's how we staff inspection systems. It's how we staff clinics, and the support roles around healthcare. It's how we build capacity without begging private corporations to save us. And jobs don't just cost money. Jobs recycle money. When people earn a living wage, tax revenue rises automatically, income taxes, payroll taxes, sales taxes, and local economic activity. And at the same time, the costs of unemployment, desperation, and instability start dropping. A job guarantee looks expensive on paper, but it's also a revenue generator, a crime reducer, and a stabilization machine. This is the part most politicians refuse to say out loud. A country with high employment is a country with higher revenue and lower emergency spending. That's why the Southpaw Plan isn't 5 separate programs. It's a connected system. Jobs is the engine that drives the rest. Fourth, food. Food is where people misunderstand the economics the most, because they think food is charity. It's not. Food is stabilization. Food is productivity. Food is healthcare before the hospital bill. Hunger and malnutrition don't stay in the stomach. They turn into chronic disease. They turn into missed work. They turn into behavioral instability. They turn into long-term medical costs that are massively more expensive than the food ever would have been. When you guarantee nutritious food, you get an immediate payoff because households stabilize and money moves through local communities faster. And you get a long payoff because long-term disease costs shrink. Food isn't just feeding people. It's reducing future spending while improving present performance. Fifth, healthcare. Healthcare will be the biggest political fight because there are billion-dollar middlemen who profit from the current maze. But the economics of it are actually the simplest. We already spend a staggering amount as a country. The problem isn't that we spend. The problem is that we waste. The current system burns money on administrative bloat, duplicated billing, and inflated pricing that other countries don't allow. And while we pay the most, we don't get the best outcomes. So the funding strategy isn't invent new spending. The funding strategy is collapse the waste. Streamline the system, negotiate prices like a serious country, and stop making healthcare a debt trap that destroys families and shrinks economic mobility. When healthcare is guaranteed, Workers become more productive, small businesses stop bleeding money on private premiums, entrepreneurship rises because people aren't chained to jobs for insurance, and medical bankruptcy stops acting like a national tax on being human. Now that's the 5 pillars in order. But here's what people really want to hear: where does the extra money come from while we scale up? 2 engines. First, the tax gap. There is money that is legally owed to the United States government that is not being collected, largely because enforcement is weak where it matters most. Southpaw doesn't squeeze working people. Southpaw modernizes enforcement where high dollar evasion lives, because collecting what's already owed is not radical. It's basic competence. Second, Pentagon accountability. If you fail audits this many years in a row, you don't get to call that normal. That's dysfunction at the highest level, and dysfunction always bleeds money. So we freeze the blank checks, clean up procurement, cut the waste, and reroute those savings into the pillars that actually help people. So the Southpaw position is simple: funding growth must be tied to auditability, procurement reform, and measurable outcomes. Waste is not patriotism. Accountability is. And implementation matters. My goal isn't to do these pillars one by one over decades. My goal is to launch the system and drive all 5 forward together, because the pillars are designed to reinforce each other. But yes, in the real world, some pieces move faster than others. Education can move first because the infrastructure already exists. Housing and jobs move together because jobs provide the workforce, and housing provides the stability that makes jobs stick. As the jobs engine ramps up, we use that same workforce to scale food logistics and distribution faster, because the bottleneck is labor and infrastructure, not ideas. And healthcare will take the longest because it's the most contested by powerful interests. But it's also the most defensible, because every serious country has already proven universal systems work, and the United States is already paying the price of not doing it. This is the point: Southpaw is not a fantasy platform. It's a systems platform. It doesn't rely on charity. It doesn't rely on corporate goodwill. It builds a national workforce, stabilizes the population, and replaces chaos spending with smart spending. Because when people have housing, they work better. When people have jobs, revenue rises. When people have food and healthcare, productivity rises and long-term costs fall. When people have education, the whole country gets stronger for decades. That's not ideology. That's the math of stability. I'm Ryan Guerrero, and I'm running for California's 18th Congressional District. I approve this message.